All right. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. You already know what time it is. It's SEC After Dark.
It's Land Shark time.
Land Shark time. We're also presented by DeadSoxy. Did you know that Father's Day is almost upon us? And DeadSoxy has the perfect gift for any budget. It's going to be hard not to say, whether as a gift or buying for yourself, DeadSoxy is excited to help you celebrate with style. Sign up for a DeadSoxy NIL membership and receive new styles every month, 2 months, 3 months, or even every 6 months.
What?
These socks are not only comfort for your feet, they give back. Over 50% of the proceeds are pumped back into Ole Miss athletics. If a sockscription isn't your speed, ask for a Saturday 7-pack. Get 7 unique designs to coordinate each of this upcoming season's 7 home football games. Again, these packs give back to Ole Miss athletics as well. Visit DeadSoxy.com. That's DeadSoxy.com and stock up on your favorite socks while supporting your beloved Rebels. It's a win-win. You could also get 25% off on all non-licensed styles and free shipping on all orders with the code
After Dark.
After Dark. So happy Father's Day from DeadSoxy. As always, stay soxy.
And also, DeadSoxy has Georgia socks, Alabama socks, and I think they might have Tennessee socks as well that you can order.
What? Oh, yeah. So, yes, Georgia socks. What? Alabama socks. What? Ole Miss socks. What?
Alabama only wants an 8-pack. They will not do a 9-pack.
They cannot not do a 9-pack. That is not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Did we lose Jake?
I think so.
A couple of times here.
Either that or Jake just looks so focused that he's doing a good job of giving that frozen look here.
As much as we're just going to talk noise about about Alabama over the next hour and him having technical difficulties, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This is a little planned. Yeah.
It's like I bet Stacey's at his house unplugging the router.
He's like, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't do it. That's what he's saying right now. So we're also presented by betonline.ag. Did you know that you can bet? I bet 2 futures on the NBA and the Stanley Cup. So for the sake of my money, what little money that I bet, I am a Golden Knights fan.
Yeah.
And I am a Nuggets fan. For the next couple of weeks, those are the teams I'm rooting for. So
I like the Golden Knights. I'm going with the Heat though.
Yeah, is Stacey? Stacey said, "I am here." By the way,
Well,
Stacey
good.
said Stacey's here to
I am
provide.
not pulling Redders.
Stacey's here to provide commentary on the schedule. So let's get into it, shall we? BetOnline.ag. Use that promo code Bleav. That's BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline.ag. It's where the game starts. Let's get into this whole shindig then.
yeah.
Before we get off the rails.
Somebody wake up Jake real quick. Also,
Really, I don't know what's going on with his.
seriously, is he playing freeze tag? Did he look at Medusa?
I think so. He's trying that FaceTime trick. He's a little too good at it, though. I'm kind of worried.
He looks like Nick Saban does all the time.
So Nick Saban's just permanently doing the FaceTime trick, I see.
Yes.
All right, so, Steve, let's get into it. Jake will join us here in a little bit whenever he pays his AOL bill. So, the debate, 8 versus 9. Okay, so before we get into our hot takes here, I'll give you kind of the tail of the tape of what we're arguing here, or what we're going to debate. I'll say argue because argue is not going to do much good, but much debate here. 8 games. You would have 1 permanent opponent and 7 rotators. You would see everyone home and away on a 4-year cycle. 9-game SEC schedule will match up 3 permanent opponents and 6 rotators, and that would be every 2 years you would see everybody home and away, correct?
No, it's 4 either way.
It's 4 either way. So,
either way.
4 either way. That's what I figured. But I talked about this last night. The show that posted this morning, I should say. I recorded last night, but the show I posted this morning on Bleav In Georgia Dawgs, I kind of went through all of the different scenarios, and I kind of talked myself, honestly, and for Georgia, the perspective is a little bit different probably because there's so many rivalries we have to choose from that I don't know that it really matters. You just pick one, and they're probably going to be a rival. So I don't really have much of an issue. I'm kind of on the same stance as Kirby. I'm just kind of hoping they just pick one and let's get on with it. No,
I don't believe you, Corey. You're willing to give up and not play the Deep South's oldest rivalry.
That would be weird. I know. I'll have to get it every other year probably.
Maybe Kirby feels that way, but as a fan, you can't tell me you don't want 9 games. Every fan
as a
should want
fan,
that.
But yeah, so what I did was I put some parameters on it. Now, if teams can't adhere to these parameters, then yeah, go with a 9-game schedule. But I think you open yourself up for 2 really interesting Power 5 matchups if you go with the 8-game schedule. I think the SEC has to mandate that every team schedules 2 Power 5 games, which most years Georgia is doing that with Georgia Tech. They got Florida State on the schedule. They have Ohio State on the schedule, UCLA, Clemson. That's an old traditional rivalry, believe it or not, is the Clemson rivalry. Back in the 70s and 80s, they played Clemson regularly. Auburn with the Lake. So in a way, we're getting the Auburn rivalry. So, for Georgia fans, I would be interested to see kind of how, if you polled most Georgia fans, where they would stand on this, if they agree with Kirby or if they disagree with Kirby. It would be weird, but again, you're going to have to sacrifice something. As long as we
sacrifice Georgia Southern, MTSU, Kent State.
I was gonna say,
you would sacrifice that anyway.
Keeping at least 1 Power 5 game. I think everybody should have that mandated. But then you get 2 cupcakes. I mean, do you need more than 2? Honestly, no team needs more than 2.
Yeah,
2 warm-up games and then a Power 5 game at 9 SEC. I think that would be awesome.
Stacey says he's a fan of an all SEC schedule, and I honestly agree with that. The most fun that I had during the football season watching it was the COVID year when it was 10 SEC games.
Let's just go across the board.
But what I think they should be, it should be a 9-game conference schedule, because I am not willing to give up that LSU rivalry. Period. Yeah. I'm not. It's my favorite game on the schedule. I'm not willing to just let that go. And then you have a mandated Power 5 game. So teams like Kentucky, who has Louisville, Georgia with Georgia Tech, Florida with Florida State, they're not getting screwed, for lack of a better word, because everybody is kind of in the same boat. Then you schedule your FCS opponent, because that's not going away, even though we'd all want it to go away. And then you have 1 G5 opponent instead of 2. Instead of USA and Georgia Southern, it's just USA.
I mean, I would say even go. You could load up with Power 5 games. I mean, I think you should go all Power 5, and in that case, that would be the 8-game route. But I don't know. I mean, I like the 9-game schedule. I like both of them, to be honest with you. I'm just arguing one side of the fence to make things interesting. I mean, I kind of talked through it, and I was like, man, maybe this does sound okay. It's not bad. I think I shortchanged 1 game though, so I think the scenario I gave would be mandating 2 Power 5 games, and then you could do whatever you want to with that 3rd game. I think I left a game out. I think I talked it. I think I talked it the scenario as a 9-game scenario, because with 2 Power 5s and an FCS or G5 or whatever you wanted to do with that game. So in a sense, I talked myself into the 9-game to preserve some of those rivalries. Florida, we play Florida every year. That's my favorite game. So, whatever schedule they go with doesn't affect that game. But you get the Auburn game. Yeah, Jake, who would be that secondary rival that you wouldn't want to get rid of if you went?
Stacey, the Auburn game and the Tennessee game is more important than any of competitive balance thing. Those two games are more important to Alabama. This competitive balance thing that you're talking about, we're talking about in this situation, you're playing 3 permanent opponents that you've played every year for 3.5 decades.
This is no permanent opponents. You couldn't get rid of the Iron Bowl and the Egg Bowl. That can't happen.
You just got rid of SEC football at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, every game is going to be a good game, except for maybe Vandy.
Yeah, do not try and NFL the SEC. If you do that, it's dead because the SEC is not the NFL. It's just the best version of college football, but it's not the NFL. The rivalries and the culture and all this stuff that it just means more. If you get away from all of that and you make it antiseptic to where you walk in and it feels like a hospital, the SEC is going to fall rapidly. And all of a sudden you're going to have happy, empty stadiums and the place is going to look like the Sun Belt out there.
You're right about that.
I don't think it would affect it that much. I mean, these fans are too rabid regardless. I mean, I think as long as you're giving them football every Saturday, it doesn't. I don't think it would have a dramatic effect.
Yeah. What was it in 2019, 2020? Alabama was actively tracking students' location because they were not going to lower level games or non-cons. And that was at Alabama with Tua and those guys throwing around just amazingness. Attendance is down everywhere. That's happened in the last 10 years. It's going to continue. If you want to exasperate this, do this because it absolutely will. Because just having football on, football junkies are going to watch it as always. But you also need the neutrals. You need the cap and T-shirt fans. You need Bob from Wiggins to be excited about an Ole Miss football game 6 hours away. And if you make it an antiseptic thing, and it's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
I tend to agree. I think it'll end up being more like minor leagues, where there's plenty of people that watch it. It's fun, but it's not the majors. That's what everybody watches. Right now, college is its own thing because of the rivalries and the histories. I just don't think you could take that away and keep college football as popular as it is now.
Honestly, you'll still have that no matter what. I mean, and
maybe there'll be some adjustment.
I think I've swayed to you guys' side on the 9-game conference schedule. I just think it's better. I just think it's better quality football anytime you can play SEC versus SEC. But
don't get me wrong.
I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to die.
I'm not for an 8-game or a 9-game schedule. The number of SEC games is meaningless to me. It's gone. It's about protecting those rivalries. That's what I care about. With an 8-game schedule, the way they have it set up, it's only one, which means the Deep South oldest rivalry, Florida, Tennessee, all of those games are gone. And if that happens, you're going to lose interest. The things that make people interested in following your team when you're 5 or 6 years old and things like that, that's going to be out the window because it's just going to be basically the USFL. And I mean, that's problematic at best.
The SEC's a brand. I don't know that it'll sink that low, but
it's a brand now. Brands fall.
It's a pretty strong brand.
So was FUBU.
FUBU was not a strong brand.
It was everywhere. Reebok. How about that? Reebok. They stopped. They just stopped completely. They stopped in the tracks. That's what we're talking about the SEC doing right now.
I don't know. I mean, you're still. I don't think.
If you ignore the history of college football, it's going to be problematic. It's going to be bad. It is going to be a horrible situation where the SEC could absolutely make a mistake that is catastrophic. To people just turn off the TV. Don't go to games. They don't want to spend $3,000 in Oxford.
Yeah. And Stacey, I don't think ending rivalries will kill college football. But like I said, I just feel like what's the difference between a minor league team and a college team? I think it's the rivalries. I think it's the history. I think it's the people who are passionate about their school. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure that they'll keep that as strong if you get rid of rivalries. People will just stop caring as much, and it'll be more like minor league teams. That's my opinion. I really don't know.
But Spaghetti Burner in the chat says, I'd rather see a matchup like USC and Ole Miss on a 2-year deal. If they go to 9, I feel like teams won't schedule hard out of conference the cupcake is going to go to the extreme. Mandate the Power 5. Go 9 plus Power 5.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a big boy conference. Act like it. You know?
Go ahead, Jake.
Well, I just want to say, the way it's set up, I guess Stacey's point is if we're going to go without the rivalries and this new scheduling, we're going to play everybody every other year anyway. So you're not playing that rivalry every year, but you're still getting it at least every 2 years.
Yeah.
So
I just don't think it's considered a rivalry.
I mean, it'll be a little different, but it's not stripping the rivalry altogether. You're not going to get a situation ever again where Georgia still hasn't been to College Station and A&M joined the conference in 2012.
Here you go, Jake. How about this? Mm-hmm. Before Arkansas and South Carolina came into the SEC, did you know that Ole Miss played Tennessee and Georgia every year?
No, I don't think I was born yet when that happened.
I know, but what do you think? What do you think of Ole Miss and Georgia and Ole Miss Tennessee now? Ole Miss has played Texas Tech the last 10 years or 20 years more than Tennessee.
I know, that's wild. That is wild.
And it's a situation to where this LSU game in 30 years, you can look exactly how Ole Miss and LSU is going to be handled and viewed if they do this by looking at the way Ole Miss views Tennessee, the way Ole Miss views Georgia, and the way they view each other.
There won't be that big of a gap, though.
It doesn't matter. It's out of sight, out of mind. And also, I don't trust it. Whenever they're talking about a temporary fix and going to 8, if they do not protect the LSU game and say it's only a temporary substance, I don't believe that. If you give them the power to do it, it'll be like it was when Missouri and A&M came in, and we had just an abhorrent schedule for 10 years while they were working on it. Tennessee hasn't gone to College Station yet or something like that?
Georgia hasn't.
Yeah,
Georgia hasn't for sure. That's ridiculous. I mean, and Sankey was Sankey the commissioner then, or was it still Slive?
I think it's Slav, wasn't it?
They should have done away with divisions when A&M and Missouri came in, and they should have constructed all of this then. They've made a ton of mistakes to where some of these rivalries fizzled because they don't play each other as often, like you're saying with Ole Miss and Georgia, Ole Miss and Tennessee. But the last time Ole Miss and Tennessee matched up in Neyland Stadium, I would say that game lost none of its luster. I mean, a lot of that was Lane Kiffin. However, that game still had plenty of flair to it. And they hadn't played each other in a while. So I think all these games will still have their flair. I don't think – I think with this new method they're talking about, I don't know.
It's like a good South Carolina-Missouri game. Great. It was memorable and it was fun and something crazy happened. But the game itself loses the value.
I was going to say, when Tennessee and Ole Miss played, nobody looks at it as a rivalry game. Yeah. It was just a fun game. But this may be a little bit
it was also Lane
Steve and I doing the old man thing where we're yelling about the good old days. But it does. It seems I don't losing these rivalries.
I just don't think the luster of some of these rivalries are I don't think they're gonna lose much luster. I mean, I still think Georgia and Auburn are still gonna hate each other just as much. I don't think that's gonna change. I think for Ole Miss, yes, the Ole Miss LSU rivalry is very, very important. It might even be,
when I was 6 years old, my mother had to shield me under an umbrella from whiskey bottles being thrown after Ole Miss ran a punt back for a touchdown. When I was 6 years old, that happened. I love that game. I am dead serious. I love the LSU game almost as much as anything. It is my favorite game on the schedule. It is the game I most want to win. It's not the game I most don't want to lose for obvious reasons, but it is the game I most want to win. And if they want to take that away, that's like taking my childhood away.
But they're just taking away for a year is all, though.
No, they're taking
every other year.
Yeah, any year that it doesn't happen, they took it away. They took that from me. It means that much to me, to where it will make me just unbelievably seething angry to know that happened, and I will blame whoever it was responsible for.
And again, the thing I don't understand with them arguing over 8 or 9 game schedule is why would they not want to do what makes the fans happy? What's the argument against it? It
Because
sounds like
they've been screwing over the fans for 10 years. So why not?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You go to Oxford to go see a Mercer game, and it's $3,000 for the weekend because to get a hotel up there, it's a 2 or 3 night minimum at $500 a piece. The tickets are $100 a piece. If it's a family of 4, you got to feed them. It's $12 Cokes in the stadium. And, you know, if you're a season ticket holder, you got to do donations on top of everything else. And now in the name of NIL, they want that too. You know, they're trying to get extra money from every available source. And at least they could throw the fans a bone on this one. At least they could do that.
Playing to their fans.
Yeah.
Trying to keep us happy.
Well, with transfer portal and NIL, you're rooting for the jersey anyway. So
yeah. Which I'm not a big fan of that either.
You don't really connect with players anymore.
Yeah.
And you know, ESPN.
These players don't care about the rivalries as much.
We talked about ESPN being tapped out, and honestly think that we hit the apex of college football revenue whenever they handed us $3 billion for 14 CBS games. If you don't think they overpaid that, this is the idea. If the SEC wants to make money off of this 9th game, okay, if they're not doing it because there's no money coming down from ESPN, well, you have a stake in the SEC network. If that network is successful, you get money from it. Put one game on Thursday or Friday on the SEC network, a conference game every week. That is the extra game. It's going to go directly into your pockets, and it's that good old American spirit of earn it. And it's not just being given to you by ESPN from this monopoly money coffer.
And
I'm pretty riled up.
Interesting because I know, and we're having an argument with Stacey, and I like this. It's fun. Thank you, Stacey, for participating. But I think maybe some of this is just a difference in opinion of how we see it. If all you're looking at is trying to win the national championship, which some people like Nick Saban, that may be what they're concentrating on, and I can understand why a lot of coaches are, because that's what makes them their money. Then yes, I can understand. You don't want that extra game. You want to just make the best path you can get to get in the playoffs and win the game. But for fans, and the way I look at it is, I want to see the best games I can see every season. And that is SEC games. I love it. I love the rivalries. I love the arguments we have about it, the talking we do about it. And that's what I want to see every year.
The bands?
Yes. Making the playoffs and winning the national championship is great, and I love it. But I want to see the SEC. That's just me.
Think about it. We're 2 years away from Boomer Sooner and Rocky Top just competing against each other in a football game.
Oh, my God.
That's going to be the most annoying game. I'm going to love every minute of it.
That's
every
gonna,
minute.
Oh, wow. Just imagine. I think FSU and Oklahoma are supposed to play each other at some point in the near future. That'll be.
Yeah.
I think Alabama has Wisconsin and FSU coming up at some point in the future. So.
We do.
Jabari Small for a 2-yard game.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just saying that's what I love. I understand.
Jordan Travis pass complete to Rashad Green. Gain of 6. It's a Florida State first down.
That's going to be great.
It's a mess. I just know that they're probably, if you're thinking about news of what they're probably going to do, is they're going to do an 8-game schedule for this year. And the LSU game they'll protect that secondary rival. It wouldn't be something where the LSU Alabama game is protected. I don't think that. But as far as secondary rivalries, I think they'll protect it this year. I just get worried whenever they just kick the can down the road. I want that 9-game season. I need that. This Ole Miss Arkansas game, that's the 3rd game. I want to see that game every year. That game is the most ridiculous game in the Southeastern Conference every year. Just like 52 to 50.
But Dan Enos, the offensive coordinator, it won't be. It'll be a very boring game.
Dan Enos was the offensive coordinator with a 50-point game in Oxford in the year that they did the lateral play on 4th and 25. These 2 teams have played 2 games in the last 10 years where both teams scored over 50 points. Both head coaches were different. Both coordinators were different.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you have it. Well, I mean, I mean, you're not gonna have 10 years between those games if we go to this 8-game model. I think that's what everybody's kind of worried about. Like, these things are going to go by the wayside. You're not going to forget them. They're going to be right back in. These rivalries are going to be right back in your face before you know it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I'm not panic about it. I mean, would I love to play Auburn every single year? Yes, I would. I would love to play Auburn every single year.
We just played Tennessee, just like you said, and all of this happened. And Tennessee was mad at Lane Kiffin, but it wasn't looked at as a rivalry. That was lost. That was gone forever. The Jackson Massacre, all this stuff that happened in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, gone because of expansion. The LSU game and whatever happens is going to happen again. Period.
That's expansion, playoff expansion, conference expansion. I mean, college football is going to become more and more
and Stacey says this is no longer our grandpa's college football. That's fine. But our grandpas are the one that built college football. We don't have this to enjoy without them and what they did.
Well, you still recognize history, but it's not going to be it won't.
They're blowing everything up for money. They're basically Scrooge McDuck at this point.
Yeah,
it's all about money.
You're not wrong about that.
Change.
But,
I get it.
But,
it doesn't mean we're not going to complain and fight about every.
Oh yeah, yeah. If they give away that LSU game and Ole Miss for any reason misses a year playing LSU, I have a microphone. I have a podcast with a show that is on 5 days a week. I will be so annoying. They will be so pissed off at me.
Yeah.
I will make it not worth their while to do it.
I hope you're big enough to where Greg Sankey listens to your show and is just cringing at the fact that you're not playing LSU that year. I hope for your sake that your show is that big.
Oh, Greg Sankey's
think
not.
About it.
Keith Carter is.
But think about it. Even with every other year, if you're a fan, let's say Alabama, Tennessee, you want to see that game, and you go to Tennessee, how often is the game at Tennessee? That's once every 4 years. That's not near as much fun. That game being at Tennessee every other year is awesome. That game being at Alabama every other year is fun. But
that's an excellent point.
Don't like it.
That's an excellent point. If it's an
okay.
every year,
all right.
If it's an every year thing, you play them 4 times in 4 years. You go to their place twice, they come to your place twice. If it's alternating, it's once every 4 years. You get them.
Yeah. Just as fans at the school, you're going to see them once every 4 years. That's.
I like playing Tulane, but that's beside the point.
Well,
I mean, you think about it the way it is now. I mean, Georgia players have never been to Kyle Field and experienced that atmosphere. So,
and I like the changes they're making where you're going to start playing everybody every couple of years. Like, I really do like that a lot.
Getting rid of divisions is one of the best decisions they made.
Oh, absolutely.
Whenever the most perfect lineup is right at your fingertips. Yeah. It's so easy. It's a perfect schedule.
That's what
to
I'm
where
saying.
rivalries and everybody gets to play, and all that is at your fingertips. And Alabama, no offense, Nick Saban's upset about having Tennessee's good now. I get that, but he's in league with Mississippi State, who once apologized for playing Oklahoma State in a early season game because they lost. Kentucky, which is upset because they have Louisville and they're not a football school. South Carolina has Clemson. That's the reason they're doing it. And Arkansas, I have no idea why Arkansas is doing it. That one makes no sense to me. But it's like one of these is not like the other.
Yeah, I can understand if it's a school that needs that extra game to get into the just bowl eligible, But you don't hear Vanderbilt complaining. Clark Lee's fine with 9-game schedule. I don't understand it.
Yeah, the moment Vanderbilt says, "Yeah, we're good with it," I think everybody else has to shut up automatically.
Yeah, at that point.
We're cool.
Yeah.
All right, getting adjourned. That was quick. Go enjoy the beach.
But Georgia and Brian Kelly, man, they've handled the situation like bosses, man. They came at it from a position of power, and they were all about it.
Damn right.
Yeah, Vandy's not going to win anyway. Eli Drinkwitz, man. Coach Drinkwitz at Missouri has said it on record that he's just 100% behind what fans want. Keeping your rivalries 9 games. And he's right. I agree with him 100%.
And the Big 12, Pac-12, and Big 10 are all 9 games.
Yeah. He won't be around long enough to enjoy this game.
I was going to say he got about a year left, and he's probably gone.
He don't care.
That might be true.
Yeah, of course he's going to say that because he's on the hot seat.
Yeah, big time.
I think Wes is in there with a comment that says if they'd all go to pods, all team would have played each other by the 3rd year, and some teams twice. Yeah. I mean, that's a model that would work if you could put the pods with the rivals in the pods. I'm pretty sure Alabama would not be okay with having a pod with Auburn, Tennessee, and LSU in it, though.
Yeah, that's a crazy pod.
Yeah, Stacey talking about competitive balance. I think you would have some merit on that one.
Yeah, that's
now
that's a bit rough there.
The Missouri, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State pod would be thankful.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about the competitive balance thing I talked about the other night on our show was it's kind of, besides Georgia, it falls back on the East for being so down the past several years. Tennessee's finally coming back a little bit, but Florida's down. South Carolina's been down for a while. Missouri's terrible. Vandy's terrible. And then you got 4 or 5 teams on the West who are just, up there fighting for a national championship every single year pretty much. So it's, I'm glad to get rid of divisions just because of that because,
Well, this year it would have been Georgia, Tennessee in the SEC championship.
Yeah, right. It should be the 2 best teams. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm behind the divisionless football.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay,
Vandy has a chance to win it,
and not just because we would have been in the game last year. No, not just because of that.
Ross Dellinger just put out an article. Just give me a second. As Wayne's World would say, talk amongst yourself or whatever.
Although there are several years here recently where it would have been basically 2 West teams constantly competing for the championship.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if they're the 2 best teams in the conference, then have at it. So
exactly. And if we go to a 9-game schedule, I know there's more potential for losing a game, but you got to think the playoffs are going to take strength of schedule into account. I know there's no real definition of what they're going to decide, but
SEC is going to get half the freaking field anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
If you're a 9-win team in the SEC, you're going to get in over a 10.
I think if you finish top 2, I think there's got to be heavy rewards for winning a conference title game.
People are so risk adverse, but if you look at SEC baseball, playing everybody, we're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got Alabama hosting, and what was their conference record this year?
16-14.
Yeah.
But our RPI was like top 10 in the nation.
Yeah, because of the schedule that was played.
Yeah.
All right. This is what Ross Dellinger said about the details that he has on the schedule. They're talking about a temporary 8-game schedule. Okay. Few details on this short-term plan have escaped the room of administrators. Will this temporary 8-game plan be for 1 year in 2024 or 2 or 4 years? While most seem to support a 1-year model before easing into 9-game schedule, it remains unclear. And what are the matchups like? Under the long-term 8-game model that the league had been discussing, each team would play 1 permanent opponent and 7 rotating opponents. That will eliminate the league's secondary rivalries in the long-term 8-game format. The schools would play every other year instead of annually. However, if the short-term model is in fact 1 year, those secondary rivalries are able to continue. Many SEC programs have an obvious primary rival and a secondary rival as well. Take Alabama, Auburn primary, Tennessee secondary, or Georgia, Florida primary, Auburn secondary. Or newbie, Texas, Oklahoma primary, A&M secondary. This gives us a better idea on matchups for each team. So,
for A&M.
Yeah, I think I think it's going to be 8 games. I think they're going to do it for 1 year. And honestly, once Texas and Oklahoma come into the league, the 9-game schedule is going to happen because they're both 4-9. But right now, they can't vote.
Yeah.
So it will happen as soon as they can vote on it themselves. It might be 2 just because they don't come in until next July. And I don't know if they'll be able to vote in Destin next year. So
why couldn't they do it, like, if they wanted to do the 8-game schedule? Why couldn't they do a 2 and 6 split? Well, would that mess up the?
That'd mess up the everybody
surprised-
plays, I think.
Well, how though?
Right.
Oh,
I'm
seven.
surprised two's not been on the table at all.
How would that? So you have 8. So that's okay. Hold up.
That's one permanent. So you and another, that is 14
No.
teams left.
I'm thinking through my primary and secondary. Why couldn't you keep the primary, secondary, and then just rotate the rest of them, the other 6 games?
Because that means your schedule would turn over every 3 years instead of every other year. Because the way it's set up, if you have one permanent opponent and 7 rotating opponents, that means 14 are rotating. You're permanent and that's 16.
I'm so bad at math, apparently.
Yeah, me too.
Holy cow.
I'm
7
lost.
one year and 7 another year. That's 14 of the SEC teams. 15 will be you. 16 will be your permanent rival.
Gotcha. Whereas they had to add 2 permanent games to make it still turn over at the same rate.
Yeah, so if they add it and LSU and Mississippi State was permanent and 6 games were rotating, you could only rotate 12 of the 14 in a 2-year period.
Yeah. That would get to a weird schedule. You're right, where you're playing some teams twice a year, occasionally.
Why don't you do
And then
like
not
Wake
seen them for a
Forest and
while.
UNC did and just schedule LSU non-conference?
I think they're going to end up just doing pods, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely think that. To where you have like Vandy, Tennessee, Alabama, and Auburn in one. Ole Miss State, LSU, and I think Arkansas in one. Texas A&M, Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri in one. And then the other 4 in the other, which would be Kentucky, South Carolina, Florida, and Georgia. And
I'll take
that's
that pod.
That's a pretty good setup, honestly. As far as if you want to talk competitive balance,
Yeah, that's.
Let's just go 9, 3 permanent. Let's just rotate the rest and let's roll.
I agree.
And you know what?
I would say
If
just do that.
If players,
Screw it.
look, I'm all for players having freedom of movement, and I'm all for them getting paid as much as possible. But don't ask me to treat them with kid gloves like I did with Matt Corral with kids today. Okay, so why can't the SEC have a semifinal game and have a pod system of 4-team divisions?
Because you're adding in an extra game. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because classes, well, I mean, FCS can do a 24 team playoff.
I don't want to hear him ever call them student athletes again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm done with that term. Whenever you have players just transferring and just the Wild West that's going on, I'm done with that. Like I said, I don't care that you're getting paid. I don't care what you're getting paid.
It's professional sports. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
It's obvious they don't care about the student part.
But
at all.
don't try and be treated like Tom Luke did in 1990 playing college athletics and what's going on now. That's not going to fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think sympathy for college athletes is going to be as strong as it always has been.
Yeah,
I mean, who's governing this whole thing?
Nobody.
They need to have a commissioner in college football.
What,
They
Nick
need to have
Saban's not one?
That's why they need to have a commissioner. They need to have a college football commissioner, and then
honestly, when Nick Saban retires,
commissioners.
he'd be good for that position. When he decides to walk away, people would actually listen to him.
Yep, I volunteer tribute.
Yeah, Nick Saban. Nick Saban is the GOAT. Always will be.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Nick Saban, Father Time is about to
Undefeated.
come collect his toll. And that sucks to see. That doesn't take any of the accomplishments away. That doesn't take anything away from who Nick Saban was, is, and will be. But Father Time is undefeated. He's coming to collect very, very soon. And you're seeing it.
No, sorry.
Kirby's only 46. He'll be around for a while.
No, I'm saying Georgia's undefeated.
Oh,
I don't see them losing anytime soon.
With that schedule.
With that schedule.
If they lose with that schedule, maybe at Tennessee.
At Tennessee, come on.
At Tennessee would be the only game I could see them actually have a chance of losing.
If they lose any other game, he better be on the hot seat.
Joe Milton's going to hit the roof.
Yeah.
You never know. But no.
The funny thing, they showed that video of Anthony Richardson hitting the roof and everything. They were so impressed about that. I just replied back to it. It's like, that was supposed to be a screen pass.
Hell of a screen pass. Did you see that clip of Joe Milton at that camp throw it 82 yards?
No.
Yeah.
There's a clip going around of Joe Milton. He just uncorks one 82 yards at some camp.
I believe it.
He's going to have Tommy John before the season starts.
I was going to say, the problem is none of our receivers can get down there fast enough to catch that.
I was supposed to say, who's the receiver?
But you have somebody named Squirrel.
Yeah, you
And
do.
even he was having to dive and roll to try to catch some of these passes.
Tennis
That's the problem.
and in my span of living in Tennessee has had a player named Pig and a player named Squirrel.
It's true.
Think about that for a second. Let that resonate.
And the people of Tennessee have eaten them.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And wear them as
Yes.
hats, apparently.
Squirrel is good. I will give it that.
Stacey's going full Uncle Rico.
Yeah.
I thought put quarter mile.
Yeah.
Go clear over the mountains.
Speaking of throws, Corey, did you see that video I put in our chat of
Will Levis
Will Levis? Yeah.
missing the stationary target completely.
Bad.
It's not like he just missed the pocket.
It's
I mean,
like,
he
is
missed
that
it
bad?
bad.
It ain't good.
No.
I think Tannehill missed it too, though.
Yeah, I think Malik was the only one that hit it.
Yeah, Malik, the greatest third string quarterback in the history of the NFL.
Oh man.
No.
Poor guy.
So we're getting ready to go into off-season workouts. It looks like Ole Miss has one transfer portal target that they might get, and Zachary Franklin.
Is it Squat Fest yet?
What are y'all about done?
With portals
Yeah.
people? I think so.
Yeah, I think we are
Pretty
too.
sure. Well, we're not very active in the portal. We're not. I think we only this year would be considered an active year, and we took like 5 guys.
Yeah, the only one I've heard about Tennessee was a wide receiver out of Kentucky. I don't remember his name, but like a little 5'9" guy, but he's really fast. And
Is
that might be somebody.
Barry and Brown?
Maybe I don't remember the guy's name.
See,
But it's
cuz
somebody that maybe it's somebody they're hoping could get down the field and get some of Joe Milton's passes.
Barry and Brown
I don't think
can
Barry-
play.
Did he enter the portal?
No, but yeah, he can't come from portal. It's past the deadline now. But
Yeah, and that's what they were saying is he would need a waiver to be able to play this year.
I do not want him at Tennessee. I do not want him in Josh Heupel's offense.
yeah, if Josh Heupel's offense, what Jalen Hyatt did, he would dwarf that.
Oh, Barry Brown would be a first round pick easily in Heupel's offense. Easily. I mean, he'll be a first round receiver in Liam Cohen's offense at Kentucky. I don't know who the hell's going to throw him the ball after Devin Leary leaves.
Yeah.
Well, after Devin Leary leaves, because he'll have one more year. But
that dude named Cooter, they got
hell yeah.
few
Hey,
weeks ago.
Cooter.
Did y'all know that they have Ray Davis? Ray Davis went to Kentucky.
Did not know that.
Who the hell's Ray Davis?
Ray Davis was the Vanderbilt running back that ran for 1,000 yards last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't know he was at Kentucky.
How did
Wow.
Oh wow. Okay, I guess I didn't realize that Vandy had a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah,
He must have got that degree at Vandy and went on.
Yeah,
That's a great pickup.
got what he needed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh no, Steve actually is a receiver from Mississippi. His name's Jordan Anthony.
Okay.
He's just a redshirt freshman, so I don't know if he's even played at Kentucky.
Yeah, the
Okay.
only team that's still actively plucking people out of the portal is Colorado, and that's just because they need to fill up their roster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ricky. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks, Rick.
Thanks,
Thank
Ricky.
you, Uncle Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
I like that he used y'all.
Y'all.
Hey, he's probably one of my people.
That's right.
Ricky,
Y'all,
are you an Ole Miss guy?
the Y'all's Conference Network.
Be a friend, tell a friend. Tell them to check out not just Ole Miss content. Tell them to be a fan of the entire conference. Check out Tide Talk Live. Check out Bleav In Georgia Dawgs. It's all linked right here on this channel.
And then Jeb's dude. Yeah.
He's going to start
Jeb,
a
in case
podcast
you-
that's going to be phenomenal. If you lost the plot, and it's going to be him reciting and telling the plots of 80s movies. I think
When do you start that?
Beastmaster was his latest. It should be later this month, right?
I think that's the one I want to start with, Beastmaster, because it is one of the
Beastmaster.
craziest,
Oh my
Beast-
god.
craziest fever dream of a movies that you will ever see.
All right.
It just-
I gotta look that up and watch it then, so I can.
Jake,
like
you
I
haven't
don't even know
seen
watching it
Beastmaster?
how you follow it.
I was
Do
born in
you-
the '90s.
Do you TBS, bro?
Oh, really?
I don't-
No.
That was one of those that just came on randomly all the time. You know?
It was
I keep-
always like I only saw it on TBS. I never actually watched the actual movie.
it's
I
like a
always only
Christmas
saw it on
story?
TV. Yeah, it's like
No.
I've only seen it on network television.
I'll be honest. I have not watched TBS since the Braves got moved off of it. So
I would see it scroll. I'd be like, "Oh, Beastmaster, let's
Yeah.
go." You watch the TV Guide channel and watch it scroll.
I don't do that.
That means
Oh,
you
you're
missed
born
titties, though. I'm just
Hey,
saying.
and also at some point in time, the end of this month, we're going to start our 1923 watch. So I hope
Yeah, we
everybody's
need to
ready
start
for
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever Jeb
I'm on-
gets back from what is it, Dauphin Island? Is that what you're going? Where you're going?
Yeah, the week of June 10th through the 17th, I'll be gone.
It is.
Is
so
that like
weird
Planet
for
of the
you to-
Apes
14.
except for dolphins?
Well, it's not even spelled with an L. It's like I keep calling it Dauphin Island, but I think it's Dolphin,
Yeah, it's
Dolphin
the
Island.
prince. It's the Prince of
not
France.
Dolphin.
The
Dolphin.
Dauphin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like DAU.
Yeah.
I thought Daphne
DHIN.
Island. I thought you were going to Dolphin Island, hanging out with Tua and Tyreek Hill, and
That's why I
Mike
agreed to
McDaniel,
go because I thought
yeah.
it sounded awesome. And
Yeah,
like,
somebody
Knight.
from down here.
when I thought it was.
Jeb literally lives an hour away from 4 of the best beaches in the United States of America.
And he goes to
And
Dolphin
he's
Island.
going to drive 9 hours to go to a place in Alabama.
Hey, roll tide.
Yeah.
it's where my brother and my nephews and nieces is going to be. So
Maybe you could
you're
stop
gonna
by the
have to
heart.
revoke.
Stop by the heart of Dixie Town.
all right.
We're gonna revoke your Vol card. Your VFL membership is on hold, sir.
I have to drive by Gainesville every time I go back and forth from home to here. Just upset every time I drive by there.
It's the crazy
But I
thing.
never stop.
It's
Is
like
there not
his
a way to pass it?
navigation system just says L every time he goes through.
There we go. That's good. Yeah.
And then the L goes away when he reaches Valdosta.
Just like all of y'all.
I heavily dislike every single one of you. I strongly disagree with your sentiments.
I had my new mic came in today, by the way.
Nice.
Oh, all right.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a blue
Is it-
Yeti. It's powder blue.
Ooh,
Oh, okay.
can't wait to see that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, there's something about Facebook. I don't put the name up there, so I don't know who you are. I guess Wes.
I guess it's Wes.
Yeah.
Probably Wes. Wes,
Well, he
you've
already-
always been Facebook user.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he already knew that though. This might be someone different.
Yeah,
I
this
didn't
might be
realize.
somebody new. So
Yeah.
Facebook
Yeah,
user.
if it's
What's
coming
your
up
name?
Facebook user, I guess it's commenting on Facebook. It's popping up depending on whether or not you use the Facebook page or the group. I'm not 100% sure on that.
But it looks like Ricky's from Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
it
Paul.
is.
Haney.
Paul. So yeah, why is that? Ricky's from Facebook. I don't know.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think he's watching from the Facebook page, not the group, or vice
got you.
versa.
I got you.
Because we're actually on several social medias. We're actually on Twitter as well, but I don't even think Twitter people can comment.
No, they can't.
Yeah.
I've tried to go in while doing the show and comment at the same time. Not only can I not do it from an ADD perspective, but I couldn't actually comment.
I don't understand you kids and y'all's technology.
Not me either.
Well, you're from Tennessee, so.
Shut up.
I'm glad you got out.
When did it become Bag on Jeb Day?
I know. This is wild.
It's Wednesday.
Oh,
Don't Google
Get in your
that,
kicks
Jeb.
while you can before Tennessee just rolls through the SEC. Go on.
Yeah, but they'll do it by not playing Ole Miss because the SEC originally took that rivalry away from Ole Miss.
That's true.
When they added Arkansas.
I don't know.
And the funny thing is, they've been trying desperately to find Arkansas a rival for 30 years. The most team that they played is Ole Miss. Ole Miss is Arkansas's rival.
Yeah.
You got a stalker.
You got Stan.
Paul,
Hey, it's all right,
people,
Paul.
man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start
I like
showing up
Paul.
during the summer just at his house randomly, swimming in his pool. So whether he knows I'm there or not, so trust me, he'll be more creeped out than by you. Don't worry.
Listen, I know the SEC is so dysfunctional. I pre-recorded my Thursday and Friday podcast bitching at them for how they're going to do the scheduling. Even whenever something can happen, I have no doubts that they're not going to be done.
Yeah,
Because this weekend's my birthday weekend, and I just want a 3-day. I want to be floating in the pool. Sunday, I'm going to Hollywood Studios. I'm pretty excited. What's
Just
up, Archie?
float face up, Steve. Not face down.
Well,
Float face up.
I understand that.
Um,
I'm from Mississippi. I'm not from Tennessee.
Oh man, bag on Jeb again. Yeah.
is this number 50 and number 49 railing on each other?
Yeah, it's valedictorian is summer school time.
Yeah.
Valedictorian and salutatorian of summer school just going at it right now. Except I don't know which one's the valedictorian and which one's the salutatorian.
Well, usually we're the salutatorian.
Yeah. What's going to happen is, Steve, you're going to be on one of your morning walks and get back, and Jeb is going to be all up in your pool.
That's why it's there. Jeb lives 100 yards from me.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he literally can just walk straight down, and
I'm
he
just
got
glad
a
he
house.
got out of jail.
Yeah, he got out
I
of.
know.
He didn't get a pool because we had one, so why get two?
Right.
Yeah, that was my opinion. I'm not going to pay for it. They're already doing it. I paid for some good walking sandals, and I'll walk down there.
There you go.
And I've got my birthday hat, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that is definitely a creamsicle Detroit Tigers hat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's my birthday
You
hat.
weren't lying.
And I was looking behind you, Steve. Looks like they was in the top of the ninth last I saw, still winning by 3-2.
They won today.
They won. They did. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Finish. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
they did not get swept by Texas. Texas, good, by the way.
Well,
Yeah, Texas is good.
let me tell you. Let me tell you, as a Braves fan, we didn't get swept by the Oakland A's. Thank God.
All right.
Yeah, jeez.
Then
One
there's
day,
50 foot of crap.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Then
My
there's
God.
us almost sweeping.
hey, though, I'm looking forward to what the Las Vegas A's are going to be next year. I am going to be so happy that they get out of Oakland.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I'm excited about that. See how it goes.
All right, we got to root for the Reds to finish this out.
Who are they playing?
They're playing Boston.
Mm.
They're up 5-4. I just put a live bet on them.
Nope.
Oh,
There you go.
Paul, man, I don't know if I'd be able to handle the seaworthiness of that, and that's funny. Obviously, if you look back there and see the Navy hat, but I'm worried about a small craft going 30 miles off the coast.
Yeah,
But I do appreciate it, bud.
I'll be driving past Panama City. On
Hey,
Tuesday.
who are you?
Maybe I should just stop.
Who are you going on the fishing trip with, Paul? Out of Panama City.
65-foot boat. That's a big boat.
That is a big boat.
Who's your captain? Unless you're the captain, is my question. Because I know a captain.
That is a big 65 foot's a long way. What's
It
that?
is.
20?
Yeah.
That's 20 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That's a large boat.
What do you put a boat in that big at?
In the
Boat
ocean.
ramp.
I mean, gosh. Yeah.
Family.
I'll see y'all later.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take the abuse like Jeb does.
Family tradition. Okay, not what I was thinking. Captain Justin Leak, if you run across him in Panama City, he's on. I think he's still on Discovery. I don't know where his show is now, but it's called Catching the Sun. They're Chasing the Sun.
St. Andrews Marina.
Okay.
Yeah, Chasing the Sun. Captain Justin Leak. If you ever watch a fishing show, which God bless you if you watch a fishing show, that's the one to watch.
Hey, I like fishing. I'll watch it.
I've been deep sea fishing a few times, but I used to go out of Destin, not Panama City.
You know,
Oh,
I'm
that's
changing the
fun.
subject right now, but does anybody else think that Boba Fett looks like Captain Jack Sparrow?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what?
Boba Fett.
Chasing the Sun. Is it?
Oh, that's the name of his boat. Okay.
Oh, the family
Yeah.
tradition. All right, I like that. All right.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the name of his. I don't know what his boat is named, but if your captain is Justin Leak, tell him I said hello.
He should go out on the Black Pearl.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I hear that's a good boat.
It's the fastest in the 7 seas. Arr. By the way, we're about to get out of here in just a second. I do want to thank everybody that tuned in. We had a decent audience tonight. The chat moved a little bit. Thank you very much for that. But today is the day our channel was officially sponsored by DeadSoxy. They came on board today.
Right down below.
Right down
me.
below. And I do want to thank Jason for everything he did. We're going to have him. I'm going to also interview him on the Locked On show about NIL, with him being in that space. I do want to remind you that they have a ton of NIL offerings that you can get. Just go to DeadSoxy.com. If you're also a Georgia fan, a Tennessee fan, an Alabama fan, I Bleav they have stuff for you as well. So check them out as well. So we're going to grow. So we'll have Jeb. We talked about If You've Lost the Plot coming up there, where he basically gives a 15-minute, 20-minute synopsis of 80s movies that are absolutely, completely ridiculous. We're talking with Derek Vandy Griff about potentially hosting a baseball show. I know that people might need a break for that one, but Ole Miss baseball, he's looking at doing that potentially. And Bleav it or not, the Twilight Zone, the original Twilight Zone, where there's going to be a watch going on to where he breaks down every episode to where, according to the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, it's either you're dead and you don't know it, or you don't know that you're dead, or something's happened. It's like every episode, weird things like that happens. So we're going to grow this channel. This is going to be basically an anything goes type channel. We're going to talk every now and then, like Indiana Jones. We'll probably come back and do a review show on that. So we're looking to have a good time. But thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. And obviously come back at 9 Eastern, 8 Central every Wednesday. And we'll be off the rails just like we always are, because off the rails is the brand.
That is the brand.
It. You already know. All right. Well, Steve, you couldn't have said it better than myself. The only thing I will add is that make sure you visit Bleav In Georgia Dawgs. If you're not a Georgia fan, please go subscribe. Tell a friend. Let's grow the network. It's SEC content, so you can't go wrong there. Also, I'm gonna plug my man Jake right here. Jake, go ahead, give it to us.
Top Talk Live. Yep, it's on YouTube as well, and you can follow us on Facebook. And we're also Stacey's also getting us on Instagram a little bit more, and TikTok as well. So we're all over the place as well. Twitter. So go ahead.
They're
all the socials.
Their channel's legit, and Jeb's just a dude.
And Jeb's just a dude.
Right now,
Jeb is also going to do hopefully a podcast called "Don't Google That."
yeah.
Today we're learning about Georgia all whites.
Yeah. Oh, don't Google that. Yeah.
Interesting results.
Yeah.
How to
Don't
end up
Google
on
that.
a watch list.
How to end up on the FBI's most wanted. Yeah.
it's gonna be like It's kind of a running joke on the show. It's like Brooklyn Nine-Nine's, name your sex tape kind of thing. Just every now and then we say something like, Jeb, don't Google that.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
I have to remind you sometimes, Jeb. It's I don't want you to get in trouble.
Yeah.
It hasn't killed my computer yet. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's on his fourth computer.
Right.
Yeah, it's a few little viruses. It'll live.
Dale's like, what is going on?
Right. Yeah. What?
Wait a
All
second.
right.
Jeb Googles things? Okay, so we are out. This is the SEC After Dark podcast presented by our good friends at DeadSoxy. For Stephen Willis, Jeb Beecham, and Jake Thomas, I'm Corey Burton. We'll see you back here next week. Better than ever. Hopefully I'm over this summer cold here. But until then, as always, you know the drill. Go Dogs.
Hotty toddy.
Vols.
Roll Tide.
McCants did not enter the portal.
Did he not?
I don't know. I just made that up.
I like that.
We are
Everything
the
you've heard is a
definition
lie.
of fake news.